channel for another reaction. We are back at it again with Bad Omens. They're coming out with the singles game. They're dropping another album in perhaps the near future, early next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, when that comes out fairly soon, because I will definitely be excited for that one. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The past couple singles have been, not so good in my opinion. They've been kind of like putting me off a little bit. I feel like, they're playing it safe. They're not really doing anything new. They're not really, pushing anything, heavier wise. They're just kind of keeping to that, Death of Peace of Mind, sound, similar, play style from the last album, and just makes every song, sounds similar. Just makes every song, kind of, sound the same, and it just makes me feel like songs were pushed. They were supposed to be on that album, like in like a deluxe package, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like they're not really doing anything, different. I mean, don't get me wrong, Noah has an amazing voice to him. He just has that talent and that control in his voice, especially on the live shows where he can do those high notes, he can do those clean style, subtle vocals that he does, but he can definitely do the screams. Not gonna lie, props to you, buddy. He can still do the high screams, he can still do the deep guttural growls that he does on some of the songs, but where's the intensity? Where's the emotion at? Where's the more hardcore tracks that we know you guys can do? Guys, please, if this one isn't a hard-hitting banger, I'm gonna lose hope for you guys, because I definitely don't want to say that, but I'm definitely gonna check that album, when it comes out, no matter what. But I just don't want it to be a disappointing, if that makes sense, because I've been a fan for these guys for quite some time now, and I just love their hard-hitting tracks. I love what made them, what they were from back in the day, that hard-hitting, that, borderline hardcore, metalcore, deathcore kind of sound, but they've been straying away from that, after every album. So, but every album has that one heavy hitting track that they just, comes out of nowhere as a surprise. They had Dethrone, which is probably one of my favorite tracks from them for quite some time, from back in the day on that album when it came out. And then the last one they had, Artificial Suicide. Definitely heaviest hitting one they probably ever created on that one. So hopefully this album has, that hard hitting track that we're hoping for, but I don't know. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to be disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, but either way, hopefully this one, fingers crossed, this one's good. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But before you start, be sure to comment, I appreciate it, and to really help me out. And if you like Bad Omens just as much as I do, be sure to like on this video as well. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by, checking out some awesome hits, because we're just getting started on these heavy bangers. Ladies and gentlemen, no time wasted. Let's get right into it. This is Bad Omens' newest release track titled "Dying to Love." I like that clean lead here going. Oh. Okay, we got some guitars on this one. You know what he says, the dark and moody atmosphere. Go, boys. A little bit like more hard rocky kind of vibe. Ooh, okay. Ooh! Is that down to a rip H? Bring that bass line! Gives me hope, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting hope. Still has that clean, tone to it, but sounds creepy in a way. Okay, boys. I see you. Where are we going from here, though? Come on, boys, don't disappoint me. You tease me with that dropout bass. Hit me with the hardcoreness. Hit me with that intensity. Give me what a man wants. Smack me. Don't play with me. Hit me. There it is. Okay, boys. A little bit more of a rock down, though, but I'll take it. Okay, you know, at least they didn't skip on it. At least they gave us a little bit of something. So, I still got hopes for these guys. Woo, there's no screams, Noah. Play more of that bass. Oh, very industrial. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. See, that's what I've been wanting. That's what I've been hoping for, at least, man. I mean, even though if it's not as, as heavy as what I thought it was gonna be, but they gave us something. They didn't tease us, like they've been doing on the last track. So, I'm excited, man. I'm definitely excited. Hopefully this next album does not become a disappointment, because I am a fan of these guys. I do like them. They are one of my favorite bands to go see, especially live shows. Like I said, they definitely know how to perform. Noah definitely knows how to has that stage presence to him. He definitely doesn't shy away from his voice. He definitely tries to sing every single note, every single word on to each track. Especially when other bands kind of like lose their voice. They just kind of they don't sound as well as they do on the record, sort of thing. But these guys definitely hold up. They definitely sound the same as they do on the record, which is always a good thing. But this one was a good band. But this one definitely brought my hopes up a little bit. Like I said, it was a bit more on the clean side of things. It was a little bit more on the clean side of things to what I was hoping for. But I can definitely see this one being a crowd favorite off the record. I can definitely see this one being one of the popular singles on the next track. Even on the the live shows when people can sing this one, it's very easy to learn the words and sing along to as well. I can definitely see this one being like the Concrete Jungle kind of when from the previous album. Definitely has that similar kind of vibe, similar kind of, but it has like a bit of like a dark undertone. It has like a dark twist, when the guitar is playing with the rhythms, with the the whole tone wise kind of thing, with the kind of like the distorted kind of lead that we're doing at the beginning there. Definitely kind of, I don't know that type of genre too much, but definitely sounded a little Deftones kind of vibe, which is the industrial kind of like down tuned hard rocky kind of vibe, if that makes sense. I don't know too much of those kind of bands, but definitely, if you guys know what I'm saying, definitely has that sort of theme, that sort of grungy aspect to it as well. But yeah, on the music side of things, they definitely gave us the guitars on this one. They definitely didn't shy away from actually playing instruments on this one. So we got the guitar riffs, we got the the rhythm lead, we got the down tune kind of drop out, meaty bass line that they were doing. They got the whammy bar going, which is always a good thing when this band uses that. But they didn't shy away on the breakdown though. They kind of did like a kind of mixed rock down kind of thing. They didn't really do a full triplets chuggy kind of riff breakdown that I was hoping for. But we got something. At least we got a little bit of more guitar playing. Like I said, we got a little bit more of what makes the band, if that makes sense. But that wasn't typically what I was hoping for, but we got something. I kind of wish they played with that bass line a little bit more. They could have probably made that into the pre-breakdown to make it just sounded a little bit heavier, in my opinion, or have it playing in the background when the rock down was going on. But it is what it is. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, Noah is a mastermind. He's probably going to be one of the top 10, metal vocalists, in the past decade when it comes to these stuff, because these guys definitely are talented. Don't get me wrong. They're just doing it in a way that's, not typically what I would favor from a band that I liked so much from back in the day. A lot of these bands are changing. It's like a new era of metal that's been going on for all these, old school classic metalcore bands from back in the day. So, this whole new age wave of, genre of metal, I don't know what you want to call it, popcore, I don't know what you'd want to call it. All these bands are kind of, doing the same kind of thing. So it's, it is kind of, off-putting. So I just miss that grittiness. I just miss that, what makes metal, with the hardcore intensity, the deep sounding riffs, the blast beats, the trippies, the hardcore hitting breakdowns, man. That's what I've been missing from all these favorite bands, and they're shying away from that, which is sad. But like I said, we did get something. So hopefully that next album comes out with that one single hard hitting core track that these guys can definitely know that they can do, from at least from their other previous tracks. So I'm holding fingers crossed. I'm keeping up hope for that single one that they're coming out with. So hopefully it's hidden amongst all these other tracks. But not gonna lie, the past ones that we reacted to already, I kind of forgot about. Like I said, they all sounded similar to the previous record. So this one was definitely a step in the right direction for me, in my opinion. But I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of those, samey sounding tracks off that new record. A lot of those, just drop out, just vocal, more frontly focused tracks. But hopefully, fingers crossed, those are the only ones we get, and hopefully the rest of the album has those hard-hitting, metalcore tracks, those dropout beats that we normally love from these guys. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you guys like this newer sound that they're doing? Do you like this, kind of like poppy, kind of mysterious, cyberpunky-esque kind of tone that they've been doing from the past record? Or do you like their older stuff? Do you like that hardcore hitting metalcore, that deathcore metalcore that they used to do from back in the day? Be sure to let me guys know. I want to see you guys' opinions on this new age of metal, as well as a whole, that all these other bands are doing nowadays. But yeah, until the next one comes out, I'll be right here. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, especially new here, because we go through every single channel, joining me on us out on a single one. Guarantee that. I'll see you guys in the next one.